Oh my gosh. I should have started the video saying this. Sorry. Infinity is played on a D20 system. That's like a huge thing that I should have mentioned. I'm going to put this bit at the start as well, so everybody knows. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention, sorry, I'm terrible at this, was I had also asked my contact, is this going to be a competitive game? To which he said, well, he said no. He said that they're not going to be doing an ITS, I don't know what that means, style system. Instead, they're going to be doing more casual events for Code 1. So that sounds interesting to me. It sounds like they are going to be taking Code 1 as the real beginner. You do not know how to play the game yet. Play Code 1, and then we're going to run events for that. They're not competitive though. And then once you've decided what you want to do with it, you can move on up to N4, which is their next release. Hello everybody, it's Glass Half Dead here, and today we're going to be talking about Infinity Code 1, and more importantly, we're going to be talking about it from the perspective of someone that literally knows nothing about Infinity, or at least the rules. I know that it's vaguely cyberpunk in aesthetic, and I believe all of the models are metal. That's it. That's all I know. What do we know about the rules? And when I say we, I mean me. Almost nothing. Basically, whenever somebody talks to me about Infinity, they say it's like Necromunda or Kill Team, but with a much more complex rule set. That's literally all I know. So when I got a press release through to me saying that Infinity Code 1 is up for pre-order, I was like, oh, okay, let's read about it a little bit. Let's see if I can give any useful information to the channel. I can't, by the way. Or at least not for the press release. However, I went back to my guy there, as somebody that knows nothing about Infinity, and basically asked him, what? Anyway, he sent me this little infographic here, and I'm going to explain it to you, because one of the big things that I couldn't find on the Infinity Code 1 site were basic things like, how big is the board size? Right? I don't know that. I'm a new player. It says it takes 45 minutes. How many models generally get played? I don't know. And in my Googling, I'd heard that they were going to be offering Code 1, which is the beginner-friendly, simplified rule set, as almost a second stream of competitiveness. So you could play that, or you could play N4, which is going to be their next edition released. And so my instant thought was, oh gosh, are they actually going to split the competitive fan base? That sounds terrible. But anyway, let's have a quick look. So he actually got back to me with this infographic. Now the 15 points battle that we see there is, I believe, what you get in the starter box, which we're going to look at in a second, don't worry. The 25 points, the 30 points, I don't know what any of that means. There you go. Right, anyway, the 15 points battle is an initial match, that's what they term it. It is played on a 60 by 80 centimeter table, which actually I've just realized sounds really weird to say, because even though I use metric, when it comes to miniature gaming, I use imperial. How weird. So a 50-point battle, the smallest size, is played on roughly a 2 by 2.5, almost 2 by 3, but not quite. Size board. It's played at an army points level of 15 with a support weapons cost of 3. I don't know what those mean, to be clear. And they say that the game duration should be about 40 minutes. The intermediate matches at 25 army points there is played on 80 by 120, which is roughly 3 by 4. Army points 25, obviously. Support weapons cost, which is SWC, by the way, goes up to 5. And that should take you 1 hour, so 60 minutes. That's called an intermediate match. Finally, we have a standard match, which is at 4 by 4, so 120 by 120. Army points is 30, obviously. Support weapons cost goes up to 6. Game duration goes to 90 minutes, an hour and a half. I also asked, because again, I don't know, how many models is an average game? They said 7 to 8. I don't know if they mean that 7 to 8 models for the intermediate match. Maybe they took that as the average. But I asked for the average game, so perhaps they do mean that on the standard match In which case, obviously, it's a very different scale, for example, to Kill Team, where I'm used to getting potentially up to 40 models on 20 by 30, 22 by 30 inch board. And in this, we're going to have, 16 models on a 4 by 4. So that's obviously interesting. Okay, now let's look at whatever the hell the website tells us, because I am out of unique information and I have zero information that I can actually give you. Never played it, don't know the rules, etc. So what does buying the box set actually give you? But first, let's have a quick look at some of what this says. So it does say this is a closed set of products. What I believe this means is that if you're looking to only play Code 1, you don't want to get into the crazy, really deep rules. Anything that has Code 1 means that it will be usable in the simplified rule set, which obviously makes a lot of sense. However, everything that doesn't have it cannot be used, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I kind of wonder how it's going to play out, how much they're going to support just the Code 1, or if they will just look at it as, you buy the core set that they're selling here, the 2-player set, and then there's going to be a few other things dotted around, a little bit for each of the factions, but then it's kind of done, and they're hoping to pull you into N4, which is, again, their next core rules update. Now, I haven't really looked at Infinity models that much. So I don't like metal. However, their models are small enough and dainty enough that a lot of the drawbacks of metal being heavy and kind of hard to work with, not there so much. However, I haven't really given my thoughts on their models. What do I think of this guy from Pan Oceania? He looks right, I guess. It's a little bit weird. I'm just going to say, so he's in a full mech suit, power armor. He's in full power armor, it's not a mech suit, right? He's got a cloak. Cloak makes sense. I'm always down for a cloak with armor, obviously. But he's also wearing a nice little tactical jacket. Bit odd. Just like, oh, my armor might get cold, so better wear a little jumper. Combined army, okay. That looks weird. I don't even know what to make of that. I wasn't aware this sort of thing was in Infinity. This looks like a monster. Yeah. Yu Jing. Looks cool. Looks cool. Basically looks a little bit like a Space Marine. More so than this guy. I don't really know why. But something about the armor detailing there makes me think Space Marine. Maybe because he's got a sword. It's very 40k. And who are these guys? O12? Cool, I guess. Very brightly coloured. You see, I look at that and I think, oh, I couldn't paint that. So I'd have to see how they look without being pro-painted. Okay, and we go to buy it now, which allows us to see Operation Cowstrom. But actually, we don't want this, because this is the, some exclusive bundle they're doing. We just want to see this. So this is 110 euros, which is about £100. And you get this. So it looks like you get a large building, a medium building, and a small building. 2 large barricades, 4 smallers, and then a bunch of smaller barricades as well. You get 2 templates. I do like how they've done that template, I will say. Oh, and you get a blast template there. I have no idea what everything else here is. Oh my gosh. I should have started the video saying this, sorry. Infinity is played on a D20 system. That's like a huge thing that I should have mentioned. I'm going to put this bit at the start as well, so everybody knows. So from an aesthetics point of view, some people just aren't going to like cardboard terrain. I haven't seen it, but I believe this is just punch card terrain, right? Almost like how you push out the tokens in a Fantasy Flight game, well, you push out the terrain panels, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's definitely what I recall from earlier releases in Infinity, and I assume it's the same. I have no idea what any of the other card bits mean. I assume they're effects you can do? Don't know. Or maybe they're markers for areas you have to get to? I don't know. I think just looking at it, ignore the price. Looking at it, that looks like quite a full set. You get quite a lot in there. So that looks good. If you don't like the cardboard terrain, I think this is actually... So, when I was first looking into Infinity years ago, I didn't like cardboard terrain. And I saw this and I thought, oh, there's nothing there for me. And the aesthetic didn't speak to me hugely at the time. So I've never been into Infinity for that reason. Not because of the rules, just the aesthetic. And the cardboard terrain was just like, nah, I'm fine, thanks. In my later years now, I have come around to liking the aesthetic a bit more. And I'm okay with cardboard terrain. In a starter set, obviously. I think that's fine. Now let's take a look at the two factions. So this we know is the Pan-Oceania. This is really, obviously I can't tell you guys what to think. But my thoughts on seeing them, I am going to reserve judgment. For the reason that I am not used to seeing real scale miniatures. Everything I normally see is heroic scale and looks, if it was, in real life, would look ridiculous. This is obviously real scale. So there are some things here I really like. For example, this guy in the back, hood. Fuck yeah, give me that. Give me that. This guy looks super dynamic, but I don't for some reason instantly like it. Not sure why. This guy back here looks kind of cool though. I do like that. So they're not an instant winner for me. Although hood, tabard, fuck yeah. And then we get these guys who were the Kijing, I think. Okay, I like this chunky boy. I like him. I'm not really... I like her at the back there. These two, not so much. He's okay. He's fine. Weirdly, for a sniper, not doing it for me. Don't know why. But these three are cool. And that's all I have to say. I don't know anything more about Infinity. So, dragging this out any longer would just be silly. Some of the models are nice. I don't think they're going to work well with my style of contrast painting these days. Anyway, I hope that I managed to give you a few little tidbits that you weren't aware of at the beginning of the video. About the board size, points levels, and SWC costs, and average times, and all that stuff. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention, sorry, I'm terrible at this, was I had also asked my contact, is this going to be a competitive game? To which he said... Well, he said no. He said that they're not going to be doing an ITS, I don't know what that means, style system. Instead, they're going to be doing more casual events for Code 1. So that sounds interesting to me. It sounds like they are going to be taking Code 1 as the real beginner, you do not know how to play the game yet. Play Code 1, and then we're going to run events for that. They're not competitive though. And then once you've decided what you want to do with it, you can move on up to N4, which is their next release. So anyway, that's all pretty interesting. And I hope this helps you. I'm curious, what do you think of Infinity? I don't know the rules at all. Is it too in-depth? Is it too much? What's going on? What do you think of the miniatures? I know for some, they love it. And for others, they're just like, it's not for me. But I want to know what you think in the comments below. That'd be awesome. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. I hope you've had a good day. Hope you continue to have a good day. Goodbye.